when we first open up the design wizard, and at the top you'll see I'm at the 5.7. So if you're on something a different version than the 5.7, if you actually go to your downloads, re-download the design wizard, it will update it to the newest version, which would be the 5.7. So if you're on like the beginning, I think it I'm not sure if it released on the 5.1 or 5.2. If you're still on an older version, we've added new features and new buttons to the software already. So just in the Magic tab alone, I think when we started there was maybe 3-4 buttons. So now we've added, I think, 2 more buttons plus some additional like tools inside some of those buttons. So if you see something different that you don't have and you have the 5.0, it's just because you're probably on an older version. So you'll just have to update that. So up top here, this little Docker window, this is going to open up your live template editor. You'll also be able to access your magic patterns and your monograms all from this area. So when we select TRW Live Template Editor, you should see a little window pop up, and it'll say the live at the top. It'll say TRW Live Template Editor. So when you first open this might not actually be attached to the side like you see on mine. It might kind of just be floating like this. So what we want to do first is attach this to our Corel page. So if you grab the top area and kind of bring it over to this right hand side. So we'll go ahead and release it. Oh, don't want to drop it there. So you can see how the gray is going vertical now. When we hover over by the right hand side, when it turns gray like that, if you let go, it will dock to your right hand side like this. So now, and again, in the live template editor, if you're working from the 4.0 or again a different older version of the 5.7, we just added a couple buttons in here too. So that will definitely look a little bit different. For the majority though, what we're going to use it for, like the folders and setting the folders, they're all going to work the same. So even if you just have the open, change, and add artwork, setting the folders and adding or pulling from the folders are going to work the same way. So it's none of that's going to change. So most people that purchase the software, do you guys have some type of live templates pack, whether it be a mini or a full pack? Hey Suzanne, no problem, just getting started. So yeah, most of us, not yet. Yes. Okay, so majority of us have some type of those live templates. So the live template editor is where we're going to access all of our live templates, the clip art that comes with them, and then it's going to help us edit them very quickly. So as we install those, they're all going to kind of go to a certain folder. We're telling it to go to a certain folder. Now, if you don't have any of these live templates installed, you're not going to see these folders I'm about to talk about. So if you go searching for it, when you actually install these folders for the first, or a live template pack for the first time, it creates this folder and path for you to get to and places all these, kind of sets up the folders for you. So again, if you don't have a live template pack, it's not necessarily going to work, or you're not going to see the folders we're about to talk about. All right, so let me open up the sports pack real quick. Alright, so I already installed this pack here. So this is the Multisport 8. So it's not going to be exactly the same. It's going to ask me to modify. But when you install one of these packs or get one of these packs, it's pretty much, you're going to see a folder that kind of resembles, you're not going to see all of this, but you're going to see two downloads. One's going to say for Macs, one's going to say for Windows. So you're going to select, if you're working on a Windows, you're going to select the Windows. That's going to open up to a compressed folder. You'll see the pack here. You can hit extract all or double click on this application and it'll start the download process of the live template. So next you should see a little window that pops up, and this is, you're just going to pretty much hit next, next, next until it installs. Since I already have this installed, I believe. Oh, maybe I don't have this one. So if you already have one installed, it would pop up with a window that says like modify, repair, or uninstall. Right. So I'm not sure if you guys are seeing this window right now, but another window popped up. You're just going to hit yes, and then it's going to run through the install. We're going to hit finish. So if this is the first pack you ever install, if you have it on an external drive, like one of the flash drives, when you plug that in, it should still give you the options of Windows and Macs. Now you can, if you have a Mac and you have it all set up with the boot camps and stuff like that, you can install it. Like if you're using the TRW software on a Mac, you can still install the same way using the Windows. The only other reason we put for Macs is because the silhouettes are compatible for Macs, and if you have the business edition, you can still edit like the text in these templates. So we just set up a Mac folder usually for the people that are using like the Silhouette Business Edition. But if you are using the software on a Mac and you have like a parallel boot camp program set up, you would just run the Windows install. Yeah, but if you get it from a flash drive, it should have like the 4 Windows or 4 Macs. Now each one too, like it kind of had in this one window. Pull it up again real quick. So when you get those external drives, you will see the TRW templates, fonts, clip art. Those are all going to show up if you open for the 4 Macs compressed folder. You'll get access to the templates, fonts, documents, and clip art that way. But otherwise, you'll just run the install. And that way, by running the application, it knows where to drop all those folders for. So where it says TRW templates, TRW clip arts, all those, by installing it, it automatically puts those folders everywhere for you. So you don't have to physically do it yourself. Now, if you don't know how to access those folders, it's going to be very hard to find them otherwise. Hey, Baylor, welcome. So when we have our live template editor open, if you just simply click open template, it's not going to pull you to all your TRW templates unless you set this icon, this folder icon, to do that. Otherwise, it might just pull up the last folder you used, and it might go to your documents or your desktop, one of these folders over here, or some random folder you have set up. So what we want to do is we want to set it to automatically go to our TRW templates folder. That way I can view all the packs that I have installed. So you'll see Multisport Mini Pack 8 right here. So all the mini packs and live templates that I purchased, they're all going to install to one area, so they're a lot easier to access for us. Rhonda, we'll get to the add artwork and all that in a second, when we'll use which one. Right now, this is just going through to the template. So, Luis, are you saying your templates aren't installing to this folder, or when you click open template, it's not bringing you to your TRW templates folder? So yeah, so if they're not, if your icons right here aren't going to this path right here, did I reset it now? This templates, then we want to make sure that they are, so that way all of the live template or mini packs or full packs that we've installed are all in one place. So when you purchase a mini pack or a live template, all the files are going to automatically go to the correct folders. So that button I just had when we did the install on the 4 windows and we clicked the application, that ran all the files and placed them where they need to be. So now this area up top here where it says users and then public documents, the rhinestone world, and TRW templates, it creates this the first time you install live template. It's going to create this path for you and place all your templates, your clip art, and all these different folders. So when we put open template, for the open template folder, we want it to open to our TRW templates, and then all your mini packs will be listed right here. So Lisa, if they're going to your desktop, you might just be downloading them to your desktop, the actual folders. But when you click into those folders, they're going to have like an application that will send it and create all this for you. So you just might be downloading the files to your desktop, but if you click the application, then you'll get them installed to this area too, and you can take them off your desktop. Right, so we want this open template button, this little folder icon, to be set to this path we see up here. So to do that, we're going to click on the actual folder right now, and we're going to scroll down, and you're going to see users. So that's going to drop down this arrow. And then the next one we're looking for is public. So you'll see public selected, and that arrow is going to drop down. We're going to keep scrolling. We're going to see public documents, so that arrow is going down. And then we have the rhinestone world, so I want to select that next. So you might see a folder that says templates. We actually want to make sure we're selecting the rhinestone world first. And then we're going to find the one that says TRW templates. So once I have that selected, so it'll say folder, and it should say TRW templates. I don't want to actually click on any of these templates right now, because that way it's going to install all those. It's going to open up right to that specific pack. So I just want it to open up to my templates. That way I can see all the packs that are listed. So I'm going to hit OK. And now when I hit open template, it should go right to my TRW templates. So then if I want to access one of these folders, I just click into it, Fishing Live Template Mini Pack 2. If you scroot this over a little bit, you'll see CDR. So I'm going to select CDR, and then here's all my templates. Or when I'm in my main page here where I have all my templates, let's say I'm just looking for a soccer design, I can just type soccer, and it will look through all my different packs and pick out all my soccer templates that I have. So underneath our open template, we have our change artwork folder, our add artwork, our import, and my artwork. So the reason if you don't have the latest update, you'll actually see that before we simply had open template, change artwork, and add artwork. Now, essentially what we did was add two more files, import and my artwork. So now what this allows you to do is, let's say you purchase artwork from other companies, or you have already created artwork by yourself and you have them in certain folders. Instead of moving everything to one folder and being hard to find, or you just have all this different artwork where you don't want to move it, now you have 2 more folders to set into any place you want to pull from. So if you have clip art already all set up in one area, we can hit import artwork to just that specific. Now, the change and add artwork, I probably would just leave for ours. Any clip art that you get from any of our live template packs, I would just leave those. But the import in my artwork, you can set that to your documents. You can set that to your desktop page. You can set that to any saved files you already have. That way they're easy to access. But otherwise, you're just going to set these folders to whatever you want. Now, the first 2, change and add, I'll show you how to set up to our clip art. But afterwards, you can set these next 2 folders to pull from whatever folder you'd like. So the change artwork, what this does for us is when we have a template, let's go to one of my sports packs. So this first example here, when you have a design that already has a clip art in it, that's when we're going to use the change artwork button. So what I can do is grab this basketball, hit change artwork. It's going to go to all my TRW clip art. And then what it will do is, let's say I want this as a soccer design instead. I'm going to select the soccer design, and it will literally just switch that out for us. So change artwork, there has to be an existing artwork to actually switch it out. So we're changing it. So we want to set this folder to our TRW clip art folder, because a lot of these packs that we install are going to have clip art that go with them. So to do that, we're going to click this folder icon. Where's that button? Luis, I'm not sure what button. The change artwork button's right here. So what you do is you select the soccer ball and hit change artwork, and that will bring up all the clip art that go with the mini and full packs that we have installed. All right, so to set this folder, we're just going to click the folder icon. And again, we just want to follow that same path. So we're going to go to our C drive and then users. And it should already have these arrows drop down in a lot of the right places. I hope I just hit that default. So it's going to be users and then public. Then public documents. So you can see how all these are already open. And then we want to make sure, again, we go to the Rhinestone World next, and then TRW clip art, and then TRW clip art CDR. If you're working with CorelDRAW and the Wizard, just set it to clip art CDR. And that way we'll be able to view our clip art beforehand. If you set it to the EPS or SVG folders, you won't be able to view the actual design first. So that's why we want to set it to CDR. And we're going to hit OK. And now that's set to our clip art. So when I hit soccer ball, change artwork, select a new design, it'll just switch it out just like that. Now, we had a question, to change artwork, do you have to ungroup things first? Yes, pretty much. I would go with yes. Now, when our objects are grouped together, so when you open a live template like this, it's going to come as a group design. So when you click on it, you'll see up top here you have these little ungroup buttons show up. That's because this is a group design. So if I select the football down here, it selects my entire design. Peggy, there should always be, with the live templates, there's always going to be a CDR option. So when you're setting these folders, if you're setting them to our live templates, there should always be a CDR option. Lori, there's no way you're not going to actually be able to see what other people are asking. So with our group question, it's going to come in as a group design. So most of the time, you're going to want to ungroup your design anyways. So I would probably just say, yeah, hit ungroup, and then you can select the football and hit change artwork. But let's say it is a group design. You can hold down control on your keyboard and select the football. And even though it's a group design, it will select just the object you clicked on. So then you can still do change artwork and it'll just switch it out for you. So technically it doesn't have to be ungrouped to switch it, but I would just probably get in the habit of ungrouping, because throughout the design you're probably going to have to ungroup and change things around anyways. Joe asks, is there a mini pack that has a lot of different sports balls only? Yeah, we did a couple of like I think there's like a decal sample pack. I'll have to double check. But Joe, if you send us an email with that question, we'll send you the packs that work best. A mini pack off the top, I can't think of exactly which one would have like a lot of sports balls specifically, but Live Template Volume 3, the full pack, has a lot of the sports balls, but that's going to be a full pack. Yeah, Luis, just give us a call tomorrow, shoot us an email, and we'll get that all set up for you. No, you don't have to. So we had another question come in, if you had to group everything back together after you change it. No, because most of the times when we're editing these designs, we're probably going to be getting them like cut ready. So we wouldn't really need to like go back and group anything. Are you guys having any trouble with the audio? Okay. If you, I know someone said they were. If you're having trouble, sometimes just signing in and signing out and coming back in fixes the issue. I moved the mic around a bit too, so hopefully that helps. I think we had another question too. Scroll up real quick. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, so no to, you don't have to, you don't need to group afterwards. Now, up top here above change artwork, you'll see this button for height and width. Does everyone know what this is for? All right, yeah. So a lot of people, I feel like, are in the same boat where they really never even click on that button. So I know we got some more experience in here that kind of know what it does. Now, I just switched it to width. Yeah, exactly. So what it's doing is it's matching our clip art to either the height or width of the existing clip art that's there. Hey Shirley, so you have the 3.0, the 3.29. So it's gonna be a little bit different than what you're seeing in here. The 4.0 has actually the live template editor and most of the features you see here. But you're not necessarily obsolete. But if you give us a call tomorrow, we can kind of run you through the differences from the 3 to the 5. And like anything with our software, whatever you have invested stays invested. So if you have the 3 or the 4, you only pay the upgrade cost to get to the 5. All right, so with our height and width button, it's changing when we select this clip art. So my football here, it's changing the next item and it's going to match it to our width or height of our design. So depending on the design we want to change it with, it might not always fit. So I switch this to width. So I'm going to hit change artwork now, and let's go ahead. Let's see if one of these guys makes it look different. So I'm just kind of picking like a person that stands pretty straight up. And so when I replace it, because I have width selected, it changes it. So once it hits the boundaries of the width of the football, it stops the height. So with this, it doesn't make sense to set it to the height or the width. So if I set it to the height and then I pick the same person, it's just going to throw them in there just like that. So it's only going from the top to the, it's only once it hits the top of the football and the bottom of it, it stops exactly. So that's going to be the big difference from the height and the width. So if you switch out a design and all of a sudden, like now, let's say I have the width and I want to switch this back out with the football. Well, now our football is going to look super small in there because our guy's so skinny. It's only going to the width of him. So let's say I go back to my football. Now it's going to come in really small. So if you start switching out clip art and for some reason it's like really big, well, it might be because the height, you know, you have it set to the height and the height of your last object was really tall. So instead we set it to the width and it comes in perfect. So now even with, you know, even if it's set to the height and width, there might be some designs where you're still going to have to, you know, make him a little taller to fit a little bit better. You know, there still might be some tweaks, and we can do that with the design. So once we change them out, we can totally change the size of our clip art. Now, if I wanted him a little bit bigger than the circle, that's no problem either. I can make this bigger and have him a little bit bigger than the circle that's there. Now, so change artwork is only gonna work, like if I hit change artwork and I don't have anything selected, it says please select the artwork you want to change. So you have to have that existing artwork to switch it out with. If I don't have artwork or clip art in my design and want to add it, that's when we're going to use add artwork, import, or my artwork. So I would the way I would set up mine is to have add artwork set it to the same folder. So we're going to do our TRW clip art CDR, hit OK. And then my import in my artwork, I'll set that to my two most recent or my two most used folders. So that might be my documents page, my downloads, you know, wherever I save all my personal files that I work with in designing, I'd probably set these two to those. So what add artwork will let us do and import in my, I can now hit this. Let's say I want to add a little bit more to my design. So I'm going to go to clip art 3 and you know what, actually let's do music. I want this little music note. So I'm going to throw that in here. Put that right in the middle of my circle. And then I'm going to put this guy on top or maybe to the side. So adding the artwork would just be making it so we're adding new artwork to our design that wasn't already there. And that's going to be the same as import in my artwork too. So the bottom three are all going to be just adding artwork to an existing or to an existing template that didn't have it before. All right. So any questions on open template, change, any of the folders you see listed, or how to set these folders and where our packs are installing to? All right. Sounds like everyone's good. So the next thing we'll get into is the find text button. So the find text button is going to allow us to, any of the text that's in our clip art, our template, sorry, is going to show up when we hit find text. Loving the wizard, so much easier than what I've been using. Awesome, Robert. That's what we like to hear. If a pack is not in the correct folder, how do you move it? That would just be copying the folder. So depending on where it's at, let's say so I had this multi-sport 10. Let's say I wanted to copy, or this was in the wrong area, and I wanted to bring it to my TRW templates. I would just right-click the whole folder, go to copy, and then just go to my TRW templates and paste it right into there. And then it'll be in the right folder. And you can do that with any clip art or old designs you have. So if you have a bunch of clip art and you want it to the same area where all your TRW clip art are, you can just copy and paste that all into those folders. Mary, in order to use the wizard, I must use the vector file only. So to edit the designs that we're using here are going to be like vectorized. The text is, we call it live text because it's still, you're able to edit the text still. So all this is going to be vector based, but you can still use the software once you're kind of done editing the text and add rhinestones and stuff like that if that's what you're looking for. So when I hit find text, all the text in our design will be listed under here. So for some reason, if a text isn't showing up, hopefully it only means one thing, that part of the design you can't edit. Now, if it seems like a part that you should be able to, let us know. It might have just been a glitch and we converted it to curves or something like that. But, you know, there's sometimes that in some themes that some words won't actually change or be able to edit. It might be in a certain font or script that looks, you know, sets up the template, and we don't want that changed. But the part, there will still be anything that's a live template will have some type of text you can edit in it. So this one happens to have all the text. So when we hit it, it'll say manatee in basketball. So to edit any of the text, you just simply click on the word you want to change, and now I can just start typing and it'll change that word for me. Now it's going to hold to the shape that's there. So even if I keep typing, it's still going to, no matter what I put in there, it's going to hold to that exact parameters that where manatee started. So it's not going to go over 5.22 inches, and it's not going to go higher than 1.28. So that's going to, what our width and height are going to be set to for this design. So good question. Will the find text feature work if I upload artwork from a non-TRW file? So there are other companies that kind of have similar live templates. Some of those will work. Now, once a text is welded or converted to curves, it's no longer reading as a text. It's reading as a like an object, so you won't be able to edit it that way. Robert, I believe they have some. I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure those work fine. Any of the clip art though, you can obviously like change out and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there's a few. There might be like one or two that have it set up as like kind of like live text. Um, are they not? They might not be exactly like ours are set up. Some might start from like the left to right, so you'll see the text kind of go this way instead of kind of from the middle. But little things like that shouldn't matter when you're editing it. It should still pick up and hit find with the find text button. And even if it's not stuck in an envelope, as long as it's a text on the page, it will read it. So I'll write test here. Now I haven't set this to an envelope or anything like that. When I hit find text, you're still going to see it in this window because it's reading any text on this page. Now the thing is, because this isn't set to an envelope shape, it's not stuck to the shape like basketball is. So when I hit, or it's not stuck to those like parameters. So right now it's 9.5 inches and by 3 inches tall. Our test is 3.4 inches wide. Now if I have a bigger word than test, so I'll write basketball, you'll notice that it just keeps typing out no matter how long the word is. Where if I change it up here, you can see that even the word sock, not the full word, is going to fit to those parameters and it won't go outside. And if I keep going longer, it's going to hold to that position. So I'm not exactly sure how everybody else's text is set up, but if it will read as a text, or if it's set up as a text, still it should be able to find in the find, or the find text will be able to see it. Now, one other thing too is, let me change this to band. And band. Okay, so if I hit find text now, so you'll see this in some packs as well. Let's say I have the same word twice. So we have, let's just pretend band is in our design twice. So if I hit find text, you'll notice in our window now that it only shows the word band once. So if we wanted to, sometimes that's a good thing, because the reason why, and we'll get into that next with our different templates of the that we can edit. Sometimes you want to change everything at once, but sometimes you don't. So let's say I wanted this to actually say marching, and I wanted to leave this as band. Well, if I hit find text and I try to change one, it's going to change the other. So in order to change just our top one here, I'm going to hit show all, find text, and then you'll see marching twice. So now it's going to go by height. So I'm going to select and left to right. So if these were at the same height, it would still read left to right. So I'm going to hit find text, marching. Now it's going to only select my top one, so I could change that back to, let's just say I changed it back to soccer, and then I could change this to band or soccer, and then I'll change this to marching. So now they're two different words. So if I hit find text or uncheck that now, you'll see all three listed. Now another way you might see us edit our text in these templates is if you select the text tool over here. So let's just say you have Corel and you don't have the design wizard or the live template editor, you can still edit these templates. So if you select that text tool right here, the A, so let's close this down for a second. Let's just say we had our design like this. So if I want to change the text in this design, I can just select the text tool here, the A, click on where it says Southeast. It'll pop up this little edit text window, and then I can come in and type Rain River. And then I could put band. So you're just selecting the text tool, clicking on that text, and it'll pop up with that little window just like that. Now, where the live template editor and the software come in handy is now if I wanted to switch out my music note or my clip art, I could have just hit change clip art and it just switches it in a second. So if I don't have the software, what I would have to do is go up here to File, Import, bring in my new clip art, size it to fit where my old one is, and then delete my old one out, and then I could replace it with my new clip art. So that's where the big time saver is going to be with these live templates. So you don't technically have to have the software to edit them, but it's just going to streamline everything for you. So any questions on the find text button or how it works, how to edit the text? And no, the text, you don't have to have it ungrouped to be able to edit the text. You only have to have it you'll most likely want it ungrouped to edit the clip art. All right. So the last thing we're going to get into with the live templates tonight is just the different versions that you'll see. So let's go to our live templates volume 2, and this is one of our sports packs here. So this is a good example because it has each version. Some packs might just have A and C, some will have A, B, and C. Some might just have like A and B. So each one of these designs, you'll see underneath it, live template 002A, 002B, and 002C. So it's actually the same layout of each design, but we set it up each style for you. So A is set up as a one color design. B is set up for a multicolor design. However, it's meant to still be used for like a vinyl design. And then C would be more for like printing and stuff like that. It's going to have gradient fills and everything like that we couldn't do with vinyl. So A and B will kind of be more flat colors. And then C would have the print look set up for you. So depending on what type of finished product you're going to have, you can just select whatever template works best for you and get a head start with it. So if I know they just want a one color design, sweet, I'll do option A. Yeah, sublimation would be for like C and stuff like that. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use A or B if you have sublimation or, VersaCam, direct to garment, anything like that. It's just these are set up for like, these have a nicer look with a print with gradient fills and stuff like that. Depending on what type of transfer you're creating, you probably want to stick with either A or B, possibly C, depending on if you're doing anything like print. So each one will each pack will usually specify what it comes with. Most of them now are coming with either like an A or C option. And with A too, just because it's set up as a one color, if I just want like a couple things, maybe I want to edit the text or have it a two color, I can still set it up like that through A. So this design or example here, I could still bring this in, and let's say I needed a two color design, but I want to kind of create it myself. No problem. Now I can select these three parts of my design and make them green. Or those four parts. So just because it starts as a one color doesn't mean I can't go back and edit it quickly to like a two or three color. Now, if any part of the design too, to choose multiple parts at once, you hold shift and just left click the parts you want to select, and it'll just select multiple parts at once. So we have a question. Do you have to change the file name to keep it from saving over? No. So what's really cool, actually, that's a great question. What's nice about the software is you can actually see up here it's untitled 4. So it's never, if you save this design right now, it's not saving over an existing design. It's going to ask you to save a new one. So if I go to open template and you open TRW Live Templates Volume 3 MC 004B, when you click it, it's just going to read as Untitled 5 in our pack or our Corel tab. So it's not actually opening that folder or that design. It's just, it's starting as a new page, like fresh, and just pasting it right on there for you. So if you go to File Save, you would just save, you wouldn't save over the actual file you opened. All right, so with this design, once we get into the live templates, there's a couple different template styles that we have. And so let me actually open up the one color of this design too. That way we can see it a little bit better. So no matter what, each time it's going to open to a new page. So I'm going to copy this one, paste it here, so we can see our two different designs. So with our two different designs here, we have our one color, and this pack only had two options, or one and two color design, or one color and multicolor. Now this pack is actually set up for mostly vinyl, so it's not going to have any of the designs set up as like a gradient fill or anything like that. But again, I can edit any of these to have that effect. But these are just set up. This pack is geared for you if you're not using any direct to garment printing or anything. You're just working with like vinyl. The reason why is because we have it set up as a one color, and then our Thunder text is actually set up in our what we call a 3-color live text. So have you guys, just kind of get a feel for everyone, does everyone know like how to go about editing a design that has the 3-color live text compared to a 1-color? So it's split about halfway. Okay, so so what's special about this 3-color design is the way we want it to, our finished product to look, is where you see the white in this text, that's going to be like our background color showing through, or our t-shirt color showing through. So it actually looks like this thunder has already been cut out of this design because we have this white right here on a white background. However, if we put a background on this design, you'll notice that that white isn't actually our background color. It's not actually cut through. It's part of our design. So we set up this word, the thunder, as a 3-color. We call it a 3-color live text. Eventually, where this white is going to be subtracted through whatever text we have here, and is going to be our background color. Or it's our background color, our t-shirt color is going to show through where this white is. Yeah, Richard, you'll be able to download this this training. Usually we'll have it up next day. So yeah, so when we cut the design, we're going to be left with only the orange and blue, or whatever color we decide to make it. So one of the reasons we have this show all button, again, if I hit find text right now, you'll see Thunder, SS, 23, and baseball. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this design right now, just so I can show you again. Now, if I hit show all, you'll notice the word Thunder twice. Because the way we set up this design is the word Thunder is actually layered on top of each other. So we have our top layer, our orange, with a white contour, So that white around it is just a contour around our text. And then we have the same word thunder behind it with a big blue contour to give us that look like this. So in this case, we don't want to hit show all. We want that unchecked and hit find text. That way the word thunder only shows once. That way when we go to change this text, let's say pirates, it changes the background and the front, both words at the same time. Otherwise, if you hit show all, you're going to have one that says pirates, and as you're changing it to thunder, the background's not going to match, and you're going to have to hit thunder and retype thunder again to have those two match up perfectly. So when you have a 3-color live text like this, we just want to do it as one, change it to whatever our new mascot might be, and then now we've edited our design. Now to get this cut ready, if we scroll down on our live template editor, you'll see the button that says merge color or 3-color live text. So once we edit our text, so we went from thunder to pirates, I highlight my design, or I highlight just that 3-color live text, hit my merge 3-color live text button, and with one click, it's going to cut that out, and then I can just make this the same orange to match. And you actually see the t-shirt or that green coming through. So that would be our t-shirt color coming through. How do we do that if we wanted the baseball to look like thunder? Oh, gotcha. So, question with what if we wanted the word baseball to look like our Pirates text up here? So to have that 3-color live text. So the easiest way now, one of the buttons we're going to get into next would be our text effects tab. So here you can add different presets to text fields. So you could select the 3-color live text. You already have the word baseball, so hit apply and it'll add the 3-color live text to it. Now you'll notice it's a little bit too big now, so I'd probably want to come down and just kind of rework it so it wasn't as big, but you can easily do it with our button just like that. We just definitely need to resize that a bit. So we'll get into the text effects in a minute though. But does everyone understand the 3-color live text and how it works? Any questions on how to edit a 3-color live? Okay. Now I'm going to show you guys one more example. Awesome. Thanks, Pillar. Thanks for stopping by. Have fun. How do you change the background to green? So what I did with that, excuse me, to get that box on your design software, you're going to have this little weed border box. It just adds like a weed box, but I use it a lot as a background color. So just highlight your design, click this little black box, and it's just going to put like a box around your design. Now it's going to always be that black color, and I just changed it to green down here. Right. So before we get into the text effects, let me show you one more live template example. And it's going to look very similar to the one we just did, but this one's just going to have a single contour around it. So let's go to our live template volume 2. And one. All right, this is a good one. Yeah, these designs, print and cut wise, you don't really have to go through all the like getting it ready to cut stages. So if you're just doing print and cut, you can just edit the text and you're good to go. All right, so before we start on this design, can everyone see the difference between these two? Or do they look pretty, like setup wise with the live template in our 3-color live text? And let's pretend we haven't edited this one at all. So the big difference of these two is the 3-color live text will always have that like white, starting out white going through the middle like this. Our tiger's text just has the black outline. All right. So you're not going to edit these two designs the same way. All right. So just because it has a contour like this tiger's text does here, doesn't mean that this is in our 23. Those aren't set up as 3-color live text. Those are just set up as a text that has a contour around the outside of it. So with a design like this, if it just has a single contour around it, what we want to do is just hit find text. Let's say we want to go from tigers to mustangs. You'll still type it out and edit just like normal. Let's switch this number to 15. And now I'm ready to get this kind of cut ready. So with this design here, all I have to do is right now, the Mustangs is just one. That black is just a contour around the outside. So I want to break that contour apart. So I'm going to highlight my Mustangs. And I can actually highlight my entire design because I have the 15 and the Mustangs. And hit break apart effects. So now what that does is it separates that contour from your text. So once you do that, you're not able to go back and edit the text anymore, because what's going to happen now is the Mustangs, the red part, I can still edit. But let's see if I go back to Pirates, you'll notice how my background isn't going to change anymore because it's not a contour, it's an actual object. Joe, it should. So Joe asked if when we're opening these templates, is your page automatically adjusting to the templates? And yes, they are. So if you're using the open templates, it should be automatically adjusting to the page width. No, so with our Mustangs text here, once you hit break apart, this black background, even if you hit show all, it's not going to say Mustangs twice now. The only reason it says 15 twice is because I have 15 over here too. So if I hit delete, you'll only see 15 once. So this, once you hit break apart, you're pretty much in the process of getting ready to cut. So now that just separates your two layers for you. Yep, Control Z to the rescue. So yeah, you always, with the live templates, you always want to pretty much edit your text and your clip art, and then you'll start breaking everything apart or merging your text to edit your design. If you merge your text or break it apart before you've edited it, it's not gonna work correctly. Yeah, so to get ready to cut, you're going to want to break these apart, and then it will separate as layers. Now again, if you're doing print, you're pretty much set up. You don't have to go through all the steps of breaking everything apart and whatnot. That's just getting ready, getting these files ready to cut. All right. So now, with the live templates, yeah, the pirates isn't showing up because I copied that from my last design, and I already welded it. So it's not reading as a text because it's like an object now. Exactly. Yeah, so for this design right now, let's say we're cutting it with EasyWeed, I would just go ahead and group all my black parts together. And this we'd have to switch around just so we could always have the red on top, but we could weld all of our black pieces, cut those at once, and then the red same way. No, so we had a question: if a customer sends me artwork in a PNG format, how can I work with it in the wizard to change the colors, etc., from all black? So Belinda, with that, the first step you'd have to do is convert that PNG to an actual vectorized artwork. Otherwise, a PNG you can't edit in any type of way unless you convert that. So let me see if I can grab. So I just snagged this from Google, of course. And let's say your client sends you this image. Now it's a PNG. You can tell when I move it around, it just has that gray background on it. So the first step of this, go ahead and delete these out. The first step of this would be converting it to a vector. Now I'm not going to go too much into that right now just because I don't want to get too much sidetracked, but we have a lot of tracing videos. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the trace bitmap. Now you have to select the image to see that. And it's always going to depend on what type of image you're working with too. If it's like a simple logo like this, it's going to work a lot better. If someone sends you a very, maybe it has 8 different shades of green, 4 different shades of blue, a bunch of different shades of red, those conversions don't work as well with like the method we're about to use. Those are a little bit harder to like convert. So if anyone's ever sending you artwork, if possible, I'd always ask for like a PDF or like a AI EPS, a file that you can actually edit and it has like the vectorized design. That's going to make it so much easier for you. Now, if you don't, we'll do a quick trace on this design. So right now, if I wanted to make this a one color design, if I click on any of these colors, it's not going to do anything. It doesn't work that way. So what we would do is trace, outline, and let's just do a clip art for now. You can go through a lot of these different options to get different results. Sometimes, depending on the design, you might not see too much of a difference. But if a design has a lot of colors and shades to it, that's when you'll mostly see the difference in these type of examples. So not a lot of differences here. We would hit OK. Once we did that, we have our new vectorized design here. When I move this around, you can see all the blue lines. That shows those blue lines are pretty much cut lines, or it shows that this is a vectorized design now, compared to when I bring this up and it only shows that gray box. So yes, that was easy, but the problem is with that is look how, it wasn't the best trace. So we could definitely do better. But now it's going to come as a grouped object. So I'm going to hit on group, but now I can select the red and make that blue, and select the blue and make that, brown. So now you have control, or if I just wanted this all one color, I can do that. So that's, a quick trace. But you always, in order to edit the colors or the nodes or anything like that, you always have to vectorize the design first. When I'm working with, anytime someone sends me a logo or, is trying to work on a logo that has text in it, like a slogan or something like that, don't try to trace text using this trace bitmap feature. Like if someone's logo, all it is their like company name, find the font they're using and just retype it out. Because to try to trace something with text is very, very hard. So like an example like this. If their logo had all this text in it, and I go to trace, outline, clip art, I hit OK. Now that doesn't look too bad. It looks, pretty good for a quick trace. But now when I hit ungroup and I really look at these letters, look how wonky and nasty they look. Instead, yeah, I could leave maybe this bottom part with the popsicles. Those look good. But if it's just a simple text like that, I would ask them if they knew the text that they were using, and then I would just rewrite it. Obviously, I don't know exactly the text they used in that one. So if I didn't know it, I would try to find something similar to it, retype it out. Try to size it up the best as possible. And now that would look a lot cleaner. The cut lines look a lot better. And that's how I would go about doing a design like that. Now, sometimes they're not going to, most times I would say they're probably not going to remember or know what, font they use. They're going to say they just had someone make it for them and stuff like that. That's when the next step would be like, okay, well, can I pick a similar font that looks, as close? I'll get a couple different styles that look as close as possible, and you can choose from those. Otherwise, you're going to get just really unclean lines and stuff like that when you're tracing text. All right. No problem. All right. So now, since we'll probably hold off the mock-ups to the next one, but I want to get into the text effects. And I just did another premium webinar just on the text effects, or a free webinar, probably 2 weeks ago. So if you check in our webinar area, you'll be able to see our instructor series. You'll see the one where I did the text effects, and it's going to go even more in depth of all of them. But to create the live templates we just saw in here, a lot of that's just using these envelope shapes that you'll see in the text effects tab. So with the text effects, you're able to build your own live templates and save them and reuse them over, as much as you'd like. So up top here, you'll see this preset effects. So the first one you'll see is one color live text. Now, if you drop that down, you'll see all the different effects we have with our text. So 2 color would be just a single contour. So that's like our design. We had here with the Mustangs. So if a 2 color live text just adds a single contour outline. And then our 3 color live text gives us our Pirates look. Next, and then we have our flat shadow, which just gives us a shadow right behind it, and then our block shadow, which gives it more of a block look. So those are all the presets of our different text styles that we can use to create. Now, down here you'll see outline and inline. So that's just going to be the outside color. So outline would be where this blue is. So if you know the colors you want to use, you can preset these to, any color scheme you want. And then same with the inline. It doesn't have to be that white look, but most of the time people like using it a white because it kind of looks like it's pulling through. But I'll just switch it to black just so we can see it. And then the regular text will always be that blue just starting out with, but we can change that quickly. All right, so the next would be our effects. Sharon, I'll show you that in just 1 second. So the effects right now are all going to be grayed out. The reason why is because with this style, this style of the 3-color live text, we can't add any effects to our design. So the next option we have would be the envelope shape. So if I don't select any shape, it will simply, and I hit apply, it will just give me my text just like that. So it's actually black on black. So let's go ahead and change this inline so we can see it a little bit more. So I'll make it green. So apply. So you'll see our black is inside, our green is that inline, and then our outline is that blue. So if I don't select a shape, it's just going to give me a flat text just like that. Now if I create a shape to it, so let's say this one here, I can hit, let's get rid of this one, apply. Let's get rid of that green too. Let's just make it white. And now it's going to apply that natural shape to it as well. So all these are preset for us. So we can just make quick designs of our own now. So I'll do one. This time I'm going to select the bottom, hit apply. So I have my 2 shapes just like that. I can come over to add artwork because I don't have any existing artwork there. Let's go select a sports ball. Go ahead and resize that. Put it right here in the middle. And now I just created my own live template. So I hit show all because they're the same, so I'm going to have to hit show all. So I'm going to do Lakewood, Lakewood, and then soccer, soccer. And now I can uncheck that, find text. And now this is a live template that we just created. So now this can go to Braden River, football, select our soccer ball, change artwork, live templates, go ahead and select the football, and I'll set it up just like that for us. So the text effects just allows us to quickly make all of our own templates. Now, when we're using these different presets, like the flat shadow, you'll notice when I do this, it will give me different options here now. So with this, so someone asked if we can make the football into a 2-color design. One really quick way to do that would be coming down here on your live template editor. You have this magic boundary button. So just increase that, let's say 0.06. I have my football selected. I click magic boundary. That's going to put a boundary around the outside. So then it could be a 2-color football just like that. No, so we had another question. Does it matter this design is larger than the page size? That's okay. I can always shrink that down, or if that's the right size of my design on our software, let's say we have a design like this that's outside of our page width, I can highlight that design, click our white box here, and it'll reset my page size to fit right around that design. The size is only going to matter like if we're sending it to the cutter and stuff like that. We just want to make sure we have it sized correctly when we're doing that. So with our text effects, when we get into the flat and block shadow, it's going to light up some more options for us down here. So the red down here is just going to be the color of our background, our shadow color. So let's just say we have this orange, yellow, whatever we want to call that. These boxes will actually change where our shadow is. So if we want it to the top right, bottom left, I just choose the box and you'll see how that shadow kind of dances around our text. So our next, we have our flat or we have our negative. So if I select negative and I hit apply, it's going to give us a negative look to our text here. You'll notice that this is not a text we can edit. So if we want this negative look, first thing we want to do is type the word we want to use, select the text we want to use, size it how we want it, then apply the effect, and we'll get it with that word that we were actually working with. So once you apply this negative effect, it's not going to make it something you can go back and edit. So if you need to edit, that's going to be the Control Z, and that will hit undo for us. So with the block shadow, you'll have some similar, you'll still be able to control where it goes, the color and the shape, everything like that. Now lastly, with our text effects, you can add, if you keep clicking over, you can add or delete your own. And one other thing too is, let's say you do select a shape. So I click this rounded shape. If I want to go back to just a flat box, you'll notice that there's actually not a flat box in here. So if you have a shape selected, just click on one of these arrows and it'll go back, it'll kind of reset back to normal. But to add or delete, you can create your own. So let's say I had a text, or let's say I wanted to create my own shape. The first thing you're going to do is start with a rectangle. You're not going to use actual words and shape it. You're going to use a rectangle, and then you're going to use the envelope feature. And again, we went on the other video, we go a lot more in depth of creating different shapes and stuff. But I'll do a simple one here with our envelope. So let's just say add new, and let's bring this side in like that. And maybe a shape just like that. So once I have my shape created, I'm going to go open up to the text effects. I'm going to go to add or delete. So I already have this selected. So I'm going to click add. I'm going to click the add button here and say enter name. So we're going to say test 1, 2, 3. Okay. You'll see a couple things going down here, and then you'll see test 1, 2, 3. So once you do that, make sure you hit save. And if you want to reorganize any of these, like let's say you want to put all the good ones or the ones you use the most on the first page, you could select dome down and move that all the way to your first option. Or test 1, 2, 3, I can move that all the way up to my first page. So then I hit save. Now when I come to my envelopes, you'll see that weird shape right here we just created. So now select that, apply, and our text is shaped just like our original shape. So you can always add your own to it. And once you do that, it's a live template. So it's not going to leave that shape we had created. Now that's not, I know, so sometimes a lot of questions we get is, So if I just have any shape, will that work? So no, if you take like a star and add it to our shapes, it doesn't necessarily work the same where it just like puts the text in here perfect. So if I select my star, hit apply, that's how our text reads. So that's not exactly kind of the look we wanted. It's just not going to fill every shape perfectly. But you know, normal like stuff kind of like you see here, these type of shapes are going to work correctly. So any questions on our text effects? Appreciate it, Linda. Thank you. All right, so I think this is a good stopping point tonight. I know it's a lot we covered. All right, we only covered two topics really, um, but we those two are kind of some of our biggest features, especially the live template editor. So I definitely want to cover as much of that as possible. So as we go the next couple weeks, we're just going to do some overviews like this of all the different features, our most popular ones. Even though we did go over the live template editor, we didn't go over too much of the editing tools like the magic boundary and stuff like that. The contour, remove shapes behind. So we're going to get into that too. Thanks, Jesse. You have a great night. But tonight, the live template, installing everything like that, just some of those basics, get that out of the way. But we'll go into the mock-ups, we'll go into the magic tab, we'll go into really editing to get cut ready and stuff like that. So over the course of the next couple weeks, we'll probably end up doing I think it'll probably end up like part 3 or 4, just because we can really get in depth on a lot of these tools. All right, perfect. So I'll try. So we have in-house this week. Depending on my schedule, Wednesday or Thursday, I might be able to fit in another one overview either this week. If not, it'll probably be next Monday where we follow up with the second one. But I'll try to squeeze one in sometime this week. But I'll just no guarantees, just because I'll have to see with the in-house how everything's going with that. But yeah, for the next couple weeks, pretty much set your Mondays. We'll do some overviews on some of our biggest tools. And if there's anything I didn't cover that you guys want to see next time, just shoot us an email. Let us know, and I'll definitely include as much as I can. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate it, guys. Any other questions? I know a couple people had questions about like getting upgraded or set up with the making sure the 5 set up correctly, anything like that, where it's or setting up your folders. Give us a call at 941-755-1696, or shoot us an email at info@therhinestoneworld.com, and we can definitely help see what's going on or what issues we're having that way. Darren, on Matt's webinar tomorrow, he'll be working on doing costings like he did at the Atlantic City. I'll have to check tomorrow's webinar. I know. Let me pull it up real quick. So one other thing too, if anyone's looking for equipment, we have some specials going on right now. It actually ends tonight. But if you're interested and it's something you want, just shoot us an email. And if you get us an email tonight, I'm sure they'll extend the sale to tomorrow if you email tonight. So tomorrow's Matt's is going to be customizing the TRW Design Wizard 5.0 for your business. So I don't know if he's going to go too much over cost tomorrow. I think it's going to be more setting up. It could be in a way, because you're going to set up like your vinyl costs and stuff like that. But it's more going to be setting up all the features of the software for your business, So when you are creating these, getting the pricing calculator, stuff like that, everything's going to be set up. So the mock-ups, everything like that, etc. Hopefully, I should usually within 24 hours we get these webinars up. So I should have this one up tomorrow by 5 o'clock. Yeah, so right now it's on Matt's is on sale for 7. Usually the day of he'll switch it back to 10. So tonight it's on sale at least for until 7, and then shortly tonight. For people that are new, do you follow us on our YouTube channel and Facebook? Awesome, awesome. All right. So anyone that doesn't, I would definitely recommend. You can even go to our website, and up top here you'll see Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube and Twitter. And the email is just to contact us. But all of those channels, we're always doing demo. Like Matt tonight afterwards is gonna go. I believe he'll probably be on YouTube. He's gonna do. Ask Matt. So he'll get on there for about 15 minutes, and you guys can just, there might be a topic at hand, or it's just you guys asking Matt with, questions about your business and stuff like that. So if you're not following us on our YouTube channel and Facebook, I definitely would. You're going to get a lot more, information that way, whether it be on actual, products, your business, webinars, stuff like that, plus all the promotions that are going on currently too. The coupon for my last webinar, the webinar coupon, the expiration date, I believe, was pretty long. So you shouldn't have, I think it was like a year or something I made it. So you shouldn't have any issues using it. So Darren, right now it is 8:35 p.m. Here. So is Ask Matt on TRW channel, or is that a Matt Vassallo channel? Actually, that's a great question. Let me pull it up real quick. I want to say it's Matt's. Yeah, so the Ask Matt is going to be the Matt Vassallo channel. So you can follow that one as well. So every Monday through Friday, he'll do an Ask Matt. So you'll see him as we go. All the ones here. Some, again, have topics. Some might just be kind of random. What's going on with your business? Yeah, and you can set it to get alerts. Thank you, Robert. That way, every time Matt goes live, you just get an alert, and you can just hop on. And a lot of these too, he'll go on, and we might see a number and be like, hey, we got 90 people in here. If 100 get in here, someone's getting a free mini pack. Matt is going on midday, so 12. It'll be 12 noon. 12 p.m. noon here. Tonight he'll probably go on somewhere around a little after 9, I would think, 9 p.m. So in about 30 minutes. But his webinar tomorrow, someone was asking, is at 12 p.m. Eastern time. All right, guys. Any other questions before we wrap up for the night? Awesome. So I have a question. If you started with one mini pack, what would it be? That's a great question. It would have to. First, I would decide what what my main focus on the business was. What type of avenue was like I trying to attack? Was I going after sports? Um, schools and sports, more of like events. What's popular in my area? Sports always seem to be pretty popular, no matter what you are, or no matter where you are. Everyone wants to customize design T-shirts, stuff like that. So sports is an easy pick for me. So mini pack wise, I would. The mini packs would be a little bit hard just because I try to find a mini pack that has as many sports as possible. I'm not sure if we have one mini pack that has them all, but if possible, I would try to even look into like a full pack instead of a mini. That way, with the full packs, the advantage of the full packs is you get all the sports. So I like, if I was doing like a sports one to start out with, our new multi-sport would be a good one, pack 1, or either live templates volume 2 or 3. Now these again are all the full packs, but I would pick live template volume 3 if I was doing only vinyl, because that's going to get me templates set up just for vinyl products, or like, not much. You could still use this for print, but the reason I would choose number 2 if I could do anything like print sublimation wise is because the graphics are going to be full color compared to just the one color. Well, you'll get the one color, the 2, and the full color with this pack. Volume 3, you're only going to get the design set up for easy vinyl cutting. So like the baseball here is just going to be a one color baseball. It's not going to have a 2 or 3 color look. It's going to be very simple, but it's going to reduce your your editing time, because you don't have to get that cut ready. It's already cut ready for you. So those is kind of what I would base it on. And then, if we're getting into other categories, the event pack is really popular. That's gonna have like your bridesmaids, your reunion shirts, stuff like that. Our kid, if you're doing anything kids related, the kids packs are great to get started with. Volume 2 has more of like a broader range of activities where you have cheerleaders, boats, princesses, where volume 1 would be all the cute animals. So it really depends on what you're kind of going after first, and then from there I would narrow it down to a couple packs. But we have summer, we have mascots, we have fonts. Now if you're doing anything with rhinestone related, I would probably definitely recommend like one of the font packs just to get you started too. But if you're just working with the live templates and vectors, I would probably go with either sports or that event pack. I feel like I could do the most with that. The decal one's another great one. The decal live and clipart mega pack. This one's really cool just because of all the different designs you're gonna get, all the sports and all the different clip arts. The only downfall to this is they're just pretty much basic decal designs like this, but it does give you a huge collection of clip art to even customize or build your own designs with. So, if you have any questions about a specific pack too, just let us know, and we can definitely give you, our opinion on it. If you want to see the full packs, just scroll down, and you can actually flip through the entire packs and what they have ready to go in them. So all the packs should, if you scroll down, should just have a little preview below that you can just flip through. Yeah, so one thing too, with a lot of these packs, is one of the reasons if you follow us on all of our social media too, is when Matt releases these packs for the first time, you're gonna get the biggest discount most likely. So most of them are like 65% off on their release date. So you might see them listed at anywhere from $200 to $300, but when you take 65% off of them, you're getting this pack, that live template has 150 different templates in it, and you'll get it for less than what 135. So definitely always look, that's another reason to follow us. We're always doing little discounts and stuff like that, and that way you can get a lot of those mini packs and full packs at a discounted price. Yeah, the decal fundraiser is great too if you're trying to get started with schools. That one's perfect because it has like all the literature with it. So if you're not, if you don't have to sit there and try to like come up with a pitch for these schools. It's already created for you. All the pricing is broken down for you. Oh, so it's right up here. And these are just based on, one color decals. So very minimal work for you. And then all the literature's already there for you. So you just switch it out. It'll say like my company name. You just type your company name, pass these out. It breaks everything down. So if their school sells 100 decals, you profit 40%, they profit 60, or it'll break everything down for them. So it just makes it really easy to kind of get your foot in the door. Now, the one thing about this design is it will come with kind of like basic clip art for the decals, because we want it that way to make it a little bit simpler, faster for production. But you'll notice some of the clip art on this pack here. It's just a one color. So this pack is actually great to combine with our decal the decal live template pack, because now I can use any one of these decals and have a lot more options, and then combine that with the decal fundraising pack. So if I'm doing a baseball team, would you guys rather have the option of a simple baseball like this, or maybe a pitcher and a batter, or would you want the option of having like a catcher, a shortstop, each position, as many position players as possible? That way you can customize it to your specific kit. So that's where combining a pack like this makes it worth it. So with the football, you have your receiver, running back, quarterback, and now you got some like linemen too, that make it, instead of just having the generic quarterback and putting your son's name under it and he plays a defensive lineman, well, there's linemen in this pack too. So now you can really customize it for each player. So this one and the decal fundraiser pack are great combinations for each other. Yeah, so if you ever purchase a premium webinar like Matt's tomorrow and you can't actually make the live version, in the download file, it's just going to be replaced with the recorded version once it's been edited. And you can go back and just watch it later. You'll still get like any designs that are created in it. You'll get those as a download too. So even if you can't catch the premiums live, they're usually still worth it, just because you're still going to get the recording plus, anything that was created in the live too. Yeah, the coupon, if there's a coupon that, like any of the webinars I had that had the coupons, those are part of your downloads too. It should just say the coupon, like coupon code. Sometimes when Matt gives out a coupon code, it might just be on the actual live. He says it. But I put it, if it was from mine, I put it as an actual download file. So you can just open the file and it'll show the code. All right, guys. Well, thank you again. Another question coming in. Yeah. So if you buy it tonight, it will be in your account, and once it's not going to be like once Matt's done, like tonight's webinar, what we'll do is we'll render it out. We'll add, just any, at the beginning we might cut it down, or at the end we might just add our like intro and outro and stuff like that. So once we edit that and get that back up, you'll be able to view the recording then. So it usually takes about 24 hours to get the recorded version up. Yeah, so you can still purchase any of the old lives. Some of the codes will still be active. I can't guarantee all of them are, just depending on how old they are. Anything recent, like in the last couple of weeks, will still be active on my end. Um, but sometimes, yeah, sometimes like if it's like a month or two older, I don't know exactly what was like how long those ones lasted. Awesome. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. Tanya, sorry, I missed your. Yeah, Tanya. If you're looking to get more than the allotted hours, send us an email, and we'll get you set up that way. So tonight there's not a code on the free ones. Sometimes most of the free ones we don't really have the coupon codes. We have the special going on the site right now, just with the equipment sale, but that's like the only dealer code we have. Darren Matt's press from Atlantic City was not available on the file. Darren, I'm not sure what you mean. Matt's press. Oh, gotcha. So Matt's presentation wasn't on the ISS file. All right. I'll write that down. I'm not sure. We might have to contact ISS for that. Yeah, I'll find out. Peggy, we're just talking about codes, but there wasn't one. There was not a code for tonight's webinar. Thank you, Wendy. You have a great night too. All right, guys. But any other questions, shoot us an email, info@therhinestoneworld.com. Again, thanks for everyone for coming, and we'll have a few more of these overviews coming shortly. All right, guys. We have a great night. If I don't talk before then, have a great Easter, and be safe if you're traveling. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do as much um, of these on Monday nights as possible. Awesome, Darren. I'll look out for that email. I think I sent you one not too long ago about the training too. But yeah, just shoot me an email and we'll get it all figured out. All right, guys. Have a great night.